Demagen here. I've just been and done the Ether Current quest. It was surprisingly entertaining. Hippothoa over there has created Gallicats, or Aelarus, as they call them here, as kind of early warning systems, like alarm systems, essentially, that squeal loudly if anything conflicting is happening. And we did such a good job at helping out that she kind of wished that she was able to give us a little pair of wings and a pixie bell around the neck, but apparently that would be against protocol. Let's carry on with the main quest. Were you able to get some rest? Please do not hesitate to let us know if you're feeling tired. I worry we might exhaust your scarce reserves of ether. The prodigal familiar returns, and after causing all manner of trouble while we were in a meeting, I'm sure. I'm glad Hermes saw the flowers. Thank you. I hope. It will help, I hope. Today will be difficult for him. An all too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time I attend to my next task. As Emitselk and Hythlodaeus are aware, we reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Lycanus. 7 were created for observation, and all 7 must be unmade. Doris has followed the protocols, and as Chief Overseer, I can find no fault in his judgments. The Lycanos would disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of the Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythlodaeus has pledged to support me in this endeavour. Yet whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lycanus must serve their purposes. Purpose. Doris has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to this study. If you are resolved, then, we have but to accompany you. We haven't seen these things yet, have we? I'm wondering if there's something that we know exist, and maybe we can offer some insight into them. Because one of the things about them having different names is that it affords the designers and writers the ability to mess with us a little bit. But as far as I'm aware, oh, it's these things. Oh, but we know they continue. The Fenris Wolf-style enemies. Doris, are you hurt? What happened here? They caught me off guard. I had them bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied, even more so than usual, and broke free. I was able to stop 4. The other 3 escaped. I see them. 2 have taken to the air above the 12 wonders. The last is up ahead, lurking in the fields. You and Demagen handle that one. The pair in the sky you can leave to me. I love the fact that just Emmett's making us useful. If this is how it must end, then so be it. I will render assistance to Emitselk, unneeded though it is. I love the fact that they all know how powerful he is. Meteon, you were to stay here with Doris. But Hermes... The Lycanus must be reverted. I would spare you their pain, and mine. This is my burden, not yours, but if you are intent on helping, then please follow my lead. Oh. Ooh, we've gone for the danger music. I don't actually know what this piece is called. This is the piece that plays in certain areas in Azizlar, for example. I see you, Lycanus. Oh, there he is. I appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry, within striking distance at present, but if it feels threatened, it may well flee beyond our reach. Here is my plan. You will approach slowly in full view and draw the Lycaon's attention. Now I warn you, its abilities are as fiery as its temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not, by my measure you are more than equal to the task. Withstand the onslaught for a few brief moments and that will give me the time to catch it unawares. Fire ether. No, that didn't... There we go. Ooh, more fire ether. Oh no, somebody else has brought their own. Oh dear. Oh, these ones aren't as... I mean, this is something that the modern ones don't do. But I suppose these are different. Oh, there's a destination marker there. I'm looking around thinking, well, what do I do now?
Now.
Oof. Nice.
Oh. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas.
I wonder if that's the issue. The fact that the ethereal sea itself will have been corrupt by the dynamis.
In concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again.
And they do.
Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again.
And is that it? Live again. Is that what is happening with these beasts? This is the discarded remnants of creation magic.
You're worthy. But leave your suffering behind.
Did he create the monsters?
Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high. Fly free.
So much essentially tainted ether. Except that it's not the ether itself that's tainted, because ether is just ether. But what if the dynamis is attached to it?
Join the convocation, Hermes. You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Van Daniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
You're a good egg, Hythlodaeus.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you
I
seek.
feel like we are starting to get a little nibble of what might cause the eventual.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time? Aye.
So this is where I think that the tying in starts to happen. It has been quite an exciting visit for you thus far. Oh, you weren't injured, were you? Good, good. I was not. The other Lyconis have been taken care of. The incident is resolved, and life in Elpis continues as normal. Or ends, as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torments? Oh, Emmett, you are going to find out. Sadly. Oh, you are going to find out. I don't know what answer he is searching for, or if it is within our power to give it. But I believe he would make a fine Fandaniel, and that if he rejects us out of hand, we will all be lesser for it. Travellers at the crossroads. Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessments. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist. Then allow me to remain your humble guide. What of you, Demogen? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you'd follow me, we will first head back towards Anagnorisis. I know this is a teeny tiny thing, and I've mentioned it before, but I just can't get over the just watching Emmett Selk walk upright, you know, unbowed by 12,000 years worth of misery and just being broken. 790 yards to the west. Wait, how many did I say? No, 290. Thought it says 700. Oh, wait, what? Grab this while we're here, because we're not likely to be coming back over this way for a while. There you are. been a very interesting zone, this. You know, some really nice insight into the Maritime way of life and way of thinking. "220 arms to the north" is going to be on there, isn't it? Yes. Jeez. Yeah, there is that tinge of sadness now from this beautiful place. The tinge of sadness from Hermes. Just that not everything was perfect and beautiful and well conceived. And you can see the pragmatism involved in the Etherean practice of just pulling these concepts apart. But you can also see, well, you know, these are living creatures. Didn't we part ways with Hermes not far from here? Given the size of Elpis, I expect our paths will cross again before long. From here, we follow the path northwards to Notonios. There we will find one of the teleporters which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travellers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once, and henceforth you will all have leave to use it freely. Shall we? What is that? That's one of the... That's one of the shark peoples. Oh, that's a level 90 shark person. Just kind of chilling there. Ah, so there were teleporters. That's why. Couldn't see any obvious way up. I suppose it makes sense. Unless the need is pressing, I won't be tracking Hermes with my ethereal sight. 'Tis poor manners to spy on someone's comings and goings in such a fashion, so don't ask. Social conventions notwithstanding, perceiving ether requires deliberate and intense concentration. We otherwise keep our eyes on the corporeal world. Here we are, Notonius. This teleporter will take us to Kalimilios Zephyros, the western island. Ah, there it is, right there, looming large over us. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above. I wonder how we'll be able to fly in this zone. Will we just be able to fly between the tiers? Ooh. This looks oddly rusty.
I present to you Kalimelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos.
Poiton Oikos.
Right then. Let's begin by...
Uh-oh, let's begin.
Well, well. An Arrayus. How delightful.
It looks... Oh, hello.
And what, pray tell, is that?
It's a land shark.
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact, and then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
Oh. Ah, here we go. Hello. You seem familiar.
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Vanar, that we should meet you here.
Shark horror! In case you hadn't put that together before.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work.
Ah, so did we know that she was on the convocation?
Vanar is her name, and she is the
Oh!
priestess Azem.
Oh! We did not know that.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is she, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Interesting. So there was none of the animosity that you might have expected from later on, just yet.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are?
Huh.
I say, have you perchance come from the future?
Yes.
I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you.
Ah.
Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
A traveller's ward. So that's Hydaelyn's blessing. That sounds rather like the Blessing of Light.
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Interesting. So it's Ah. And I suppose as Vanar becomes the heart of Hydaelyn, the magic would pass on, or is it distinctly Vanar's?
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
Oh, Emmett.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
Yeah.
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting. I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future.
For you, at least.
Until a moment finally arrives, We cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest.
Interesting that they've taken this moment then to break that wall.
Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
Our cause is your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself.
Yes, Emmett, we know.
As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos.
But they've just stepped the whole time here up a notch, drama-wise.
We were meant to meet. I am certain of it.
Yes. So when they said, when Heidelin said that she'd made a promise in the past, who was it to? Was it to us?
Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to. I'm quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
Was this Heidelin's promise to Vinar, then? Or is this one of those things that actually is related to us? And if we'd been the other gender, it would have changed. Because obviously I've been keeping well clear of what other people have been saying. So is it specifically an Azem thing? And here I thought you were a harmless stray familiar. As far as I'm concerned, this nebulous talk of future this and changing history, that can wait. First, I mean, to find out exactly who you are and what you hope to achieve here. The future, our future. I'm definitely curious to hear more. My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept-engraved crystal and the quick-fingered Aureus which made off with it. An Aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? That would, of course, lead us only to the Aureus. There's no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. Could I ask you to join the search? I'd appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land of the west of here. Many thanks! There's a small bridge leading into Poiton Oikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. Yeah, the fact that they are on incredibly cordial terms. Ooh, it's a massacre. Melantons. Were those Turama? I think those are Turama, aren't they? Ooh, hello, Ether Coens. You are not the crystal that I was looking for, but I like how different a forest this is to the previous island. Right, this is out of range. These things are big. Weird stalky plant thing. Where are you, tiny thing? Not over there. Ooh, hold on. Hold on, we can get atop the rise. That has not helped. Aha! Oops. Concept crystal. Right, onwards to Vinar. I suppose it would make sense then that the shiny blue eyes of Heidelin would complement and be a result of the shiny blue eyes of Vinar. In that case, I assume Elidibus is going to have a certain purpley colour. The problem you present is vexing enough without adding the old Azim into the equation. And she wonders why those lines upon my brow go deeper when she herself wields the hammer and chisel. The Azims, both mentor and student, are a force to be reckoned with. I find them a delight personally, but they have a habit of making him itself look as if he was bit down on a sour grape. Ah, our last searcher returns. I'm afraid the OAS no longer had the crystal, nor was I able to find it as I followed in its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better. Well, as it happens, I seem to have quite a knack of finding these things. The crystal! Well done. Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Travelling and searching go hand in hand. You travel often then. It seems we have something in common. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azim, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I'm still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinions sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is the way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? Vinar is in a cheerful mood. Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, it is time I return this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so I can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Ah, the extra revelations that this is going to... no. I want to... There we go. A past not yet come to pass. I wonder how much we are actually going to reveal. You need me nervous, Rambanar. Those white robes mark her as one of a fair and impartial reasoning. Aside from the emissary Elidibus, each such garb is worn... I'll try that. I'll start this from the... Again, yes. Aside from the emissary Elidibus, such garb is worn only by those who have stepped down from public office to serve as advisors. Whatever you have to say, she will listen without judgment. Yes, this will be far more comfortable than interrogating you on the side of the road. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea. Because tea is universal. Not that I drink tea. Bit of an Answers remix.
Ah, a wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like.
Good for the ether.
Now then. Will you tell us your tale?
Oh, go on then. How are we gonna... Are we just gonna tell them? In the future I came from.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
That's a long story. Are we going to talk about Hydaelyn and Zodiac and the fact that we've met all of these before? Because that's... How are you supposed to convince anyone of that? Hydaelyn? Ascians? Amarot? Zodiac? The voice? We're just telling everything. This is... We're literally telling them that their worlds are going to be destroyed.
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanar?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hydaelyn? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures.
And we're going to find out what it is.
Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance.
The Dynamis.
But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Maybe it's not what you meant to accomplish, but what you didn't.
Might it not be simply thus? In the future, whence she came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital in Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
Something that happens here.
True, true. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which she must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
As it often is.
This is quite a puzzle. And we do not have all the pieces.
Nope.
Hardly any. But we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
And maybe that's what they have done, but they weren't able to say how or why.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Emmett is very quiet.
Listen to yourself.
There you go.
Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale?
Oh, Emmett.
Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory.
And yet you did.
Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
You got a feel for him.
Emmett Selk! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
And maybe this was the purpose after all, to bring us into the presence of Anar so we could talk the plan through. Yeah, Dynamis is key to all of this.
Ah yes, the energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes, I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, 'tis time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. And suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmett Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Nope. He will take it. He will go. He will think. I mean, we know the man that Emmett is. that was not the direction that I expected this cutscene to go. I didn't expect to reveal everything, the whole story. And part of that is due to the programming that you get when you're dealing with stories about time travel. It's like, oh, you know, you step on a butterfly, you change the future. You know, we've literally just told these people the future that they are going to go through. The literal, this is what is going to happen to your entire society, your world. And because we specifically know what happens to these people, you know, we just seen Hythlodaeus' shade on the moon. We know what happens to Emmett Selk. We kill him. We put a massive hole in his chest to end his suffering after thousands upon thousands of years of holding the entire burden on his shoulders because he is the most powerful member of the Convocation. Shall we begin our investigations then? I'm acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the Chief Overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. Thus I suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Meteon, and I have a good idea of where we might begin. Yeah, I still don't have any real idea. Well, no, that's not true. I do have ideas about where the story is going. But it does seem that my ideas about Vanar in particular are completely the wrong way round. So Vanar was chosen as the heart of Hydaelyn for whatever reason, as the rebel. I'm hoping that we'll find out, you know, what caused the splits. See you, the woman standing in front of yonder building? Her name is Ismene. She's the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insights. Go and ask her questions. I will help with drawing out answers if need be, but I leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions? For me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Maybe here a while. Greetings, Ismene. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes, and I was wondering if you might indulge her. Certainly, Mistress Vanar. Anything to be of service? What do you wish to know? What kind of person is Hermes? Well, I can only answer from my own experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His reticent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as Chief Overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail, and is the leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. I hope that answers your question. Was there anything else? How long has Meteon been here? I cannot rightly say. As the Chief's personal creation, Meteon has not been subjected to observation and study like other concepts. So, one day she was simply there. And what do you make of her abilities? I understand that she is a highly unusual familiar, able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with this talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies. I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I've not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. Do you trust him? I beg your pardon? I've known Chief Hermes for many years. Though I cannot say we are close, he has never withheld information to the detriment of our duties, if that is what you mean. Forgive us, we seem to have veered slightly off course here. Is there perhaps someone else who could tell us more about Meteon? That would be Timaeus. He has a similar expertise with flying concepts and is more than eager to discuss the subjects. You'll find him conducting his observations on the banks of the stream somewhere to the east. Oh, and, unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. Oh, we shall keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and your insight. Think nothing of it. If there is aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. Come, Demigen, I think we've taken enough of Ismini's time. It's so strange. It was strange being here in the first place, but it's even more strange now. Our investigation is off to a fine start, wouldn't you agree? From here I propose that we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers if you could track down colleagues Ismini mentioned. While I did feel compelled to interject once or twice during that previous conversation, you seem more than capable of drawing forth the answers you seek. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once you finish speaking with this Timaeus. That's not the way I was going to go. This is the way I'm going to go. Okay. Erato. Oh, I seem to have gone past you. Why, hello there. Yes, I am Timaeus, but please keep your voice down. You'll startle the birds. Begin asking questions. So, what is it you wish to speak about? Is it true you're an expert on flying creations? Ah, fellow enthusiasts, are you? Well, settle in and we can discuss the finer points of this fascinating craft. My deep and abiding love of avian artistry can be traced back to when I was but a young boy, stricken by the transcendent beauty of glorious grandfather. I have chosen the incorrect question. Timaeus launched into rambling and unstoppable discourse. And thus did I secure an observer's role here in Elphis, and at last realise my childhood ambition. Here the dreams I once dreamed are an everyday reality, in which I find fulfilment through the research and creation of new flying life forms. An abridged recounting of events, as was doubtless to your disappointment. Okay. So, be more specific. You were hoping for my opinion on Chief Hermes' creations, then why didn't you say so? Yes, I'm beginning to see the error of my ways here. Those beings which soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favourite of creators. Even now, with so many variable varieties even in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. Which sets the Chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high that they disappear from view, others which traverse the boundless sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. Meteon too is a marvel then. My opinion on that matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Meteon as a concept, I have never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Meteon's concept to the Bureau of the Architects, then will the design be registered for public scrutiny? Analysing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. Ooh. Do you know of Dynamis and Entelekes? Dynamis and Entelekes? Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Ellipse which exhibited properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Then why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. Now, I really must return to my observations. Interesting. Corpicors. Right, let's go and talk to Vanar. Ah, good timing. I finished my own investigations not long ago. So, have you any new findings to share? I see. Even an expert in the field has little understanding of Meteon's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. Questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Meteon as his personal project and can provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. Level 87 quests. So we're catching up, actually, in terms of XP. But to be fair, we've not done any real fighting of combat or anything in this place. We've had a couple of fights, and that's been it. So the XP that we're getting is pretty much from quests alone. I wonder if we'll catch up to the kind of MSQ quest cap level thing. We shouldn't do, because I've done several dungeons, and I can always do another one if need be. I mean, we are a chunk into level 88, and I don't know how many more 87 quests we've got to do. We will do some more of them next time. There's a really nice brewing feeling of the mystery here. And excuse me. Whilst what was the kind of empathic Dynamis style thing, I do think it's probably something in the live stream or at the centre of Heidelin, or at the centre of the planet. I suspect that's where we will be going at some points. Probably because we should have another dungeon at 87, shouldn't we? So I wonder what it's going to be. Is it going to be that big crystal labyrinth? Is it going to be in this area, or is it going to be once we get back to the future? Some really interesting storytelling going on here. It's no wonder the whole experience is supposed to be, you know, 30% longer than anything that they've previously done, because they've got all of these threads to weave together, and they seem to be doing an excellent job of it so far. We'll find out how that continues next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, folks. If you've enjoyed the reaction, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you all back for the next bit next time. Happy endwalking from me and Vanar. Doodle pip. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.